When you receive your KB Double-ended Cuticle Tool, you will receive your care card. With your care card, it gives you all the advice on how to get the most out of your tools. So the use, the storage, and also the recommended and tested disinfection, sterilisation and cleaning methods. When you open the box, you can pull the ribbon. So the ribbon for the cuticle tool is a dark grey. You can take it out and we will get the tool out of here. And you can see that it's got the foam to keep the product safe and secure in between treatments. It's important when you close and open your box that you don't accidentally catch the tool in it, because you could cause damage to the tool. So we'll take this out, we'll place the box to the side. And you can see here, you've got the curved end. So the curved end is what we are going to use to push back the cuticle growth. Here, we've got a finger rest. So you can use those finger rests here and here between your finger and your thumb to support as you push back. And then the same on this other side, we've got the finger rests here and here. And we can use that when we are using cuticle knife side. Here we've got a nice smooth middle, and this helps to prevent premature rusting when we are disinfecting and cleaning our tools. When you have this knurling here, which is like the dents in the tool, what happens is the coating, the chromium coating, cannot always get to every single crevice. And what happens is, this is where you may find you get odd spots on your tool that prematurely rust. This is why we have designed our tool like this, so it's smooth, and we've got these finger rests as support to help you grip the tool. Let's take this finger here to address what is and isn't a cuticle. So if we look on this nail plate, we can see this white flaky patch here. This is the cuticle. So the white flaky residue, this is on the nail plate, is the cuticle. If we look to this zone here, which is like the white yellowy jelly strip, this is the eponychium. This is living tissue, and we must ensure that we do not touch this when we are working. We are going to take our cuticle pusher, and we are going to push back this cuticle growth and the eponychium to reveal more of the nail plate to work on. We are going to work at a 45-degree angle, and we are going to work side to side and pushing back that growth. Don't forget to come down these sides and repeat going the other way if necessary. Avoid coming flat like this, as it will just brush over the nail plate and not be effective. And do not hold it at a right angle, otherwise you will end up scratching the nail plate. Keep repeating these steps until you are happy with the removal of that cuticle off the nail plate. Repeat this step on all 10 nails. It's good practice to work from one pinky to the other pinky. Cleaning our nail tools correctly is really important for success and longevity with your tools, and to ensure you don't cross-contaminate any of your customers. All of our metal tools can be sterilised. They can be sanitised, disinfected and sterilised in a hospital-approved grade autoclave. It is important to store your tools correctly, either keeping them in your box or when you're working, work with something like this tool rest. So every so often, especially on your form tailoring scissors, what you can get is a build up of the glue. on your scissors. And when you're trying to use them, you'll find they aren't as effective as normal. So every so often, I would just recommend taking a disinfectant wipe, a baby wipe or anything, just to remove some of that glue residue, and they'll be working perfectly again. I don't recommend the wipes as an alternative to sanitation or disinfection. I just do this to remove some of the debris prior to sanitation, disinfection and sterilisation. So first of all, we must understand the difference between sanitation, disinfection and sterilisation. So when we want to sanitize our tools, the first step for this is washing our tools with a warm soapy water. So you can get the tools like this and wash them, and you can get the little nail brushes as well to scrub the warm soapy water. You can also do it with the scissors open like this. It is your preference. Government legislation states that wipes are only a sufficient sanitation if they contain higher than 60% ethanol alcohol. They do not, however, disinfect or sterilise, so you must only use these as a first step sanitation method. Disinfectants must always be used in line with the manufacturer's instructions. So methods of disinfection will include hospital grade and approved disinfection solutions such as barbicide or Mundo. So you can get different kinds of disinfectants. So today I'm going to demonstrate with the Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant. So this is a ready to use liquid, so we don't have to worry about mixing it. It is important that you always thoroughly read the whole entire label on your disinfectant or your sanitation product and follow the manufacturer's instructions to a T. For example, let's look at this Mundo solution. So first of all, we must wash the tools and instruments in clean water. So this is where we will use the soap and water to remove any debris, and then we will rinse the tools in clean water afterwards to remove any soapy residue. You then immerse in the Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant, ensuring that all surfaces are covered. So here we've got a disinfectant tool tray. And this is what I recommend when disinfecting your tools rather than using a jar. Because if we refer back to this point, immerse in rapid instrument and tool disinfectant, ensuring that all surfaces are covered. If we use a jar, what happens is we pop the scissors in here and maybe half to 3/4 of your tool will be submerged. Now we've only used this part on the customer. We may have worn gloves or we may not have worn gloves, but we could still be touching this area, and this part, the handle and the other part of the scissors, can still pick up contaminants. So it's important that you fully submerge the whole entire tool, and this is why I recommend the disinfectant tray, which I shall show you shortly. And if we go back to reading the manufacturer's instructions, on this particular product, so sometimes the ready to use and the ones that you mix the solution yourself, they will have different instructions. For this particular product, leave for a minimum of 5 minutes. For full effectivity, leave for 30 minutes. So this is quite a different product to the ones where you mix yourself, which are to be submerged in the liquid, usually for anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. It is important, you can see that it's in bold, do not exceed this time. What happens if you exceed this time is that you can cause damage to your tools, and this is where you'll find that you get premature rusting and damage to your tools. Your tools are not meant to be left in the solution for more than your manufacturer's recommended time. It's important never to do this. So with these, you will allow to dry in a paper or cloth, or you could also dry these off yourself. I always recommend using a clean cloth to dry these yourself, to avoid leaving it on a towel where the water will be on it and it could again cause some rusting. So it's important to make sure the right metals are matched with the solution. So here, do not use with brass, copper, aluminium parts or colour-coded instruments. Colour-coded instruments have a coating on, and what that coating does is it can have problems when disinfectant and sterilising solutions are added. So this is why all of our tools are stainless steel and they are in their purest form, and this allows the best disinfectant and sterilisation procedures because there's no colour coating that could get damaged, and then also that can rust and that could start wearing off and cause issues with your tools. So we are now going to use the disinfectant solution in our disinfection tray. As you can see, this opens and this part comes up and down. So we would place our tools in here, and then when we close it, they then submerge in the liquid. So you need to make sure that you've got enough liquid to submerge your tools fully. We would then open this, and we would be able to remove our tools. We'd allow them to dry, and then we'd be able to sterilise them. So as I said, I recommend opening your tools fully like this to make sure every part of it is coated. So I'm just going to pop this out. I'm going to take my Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectants pre-mixed, and I am going to pour it in the bottom of this tray. I'm going to place enough in there to ensure that all the tools will be submerged when I close the box. So we could just do a test with one to check, and you can see that that tool is submerged. So you can do a couple of tools at a time or one at a time to suit you, and this is easy to do in between customers. It can be good practice to have a couple of sets of different tools to work with. So one set can be disinfecting and the other set can be being used on your client, so you're never without your tools. And pop the cuticle pusher in. So I just want to just hold that straight so I can line these up so all surfaces of the tools can be disinfected. And then close it. Now this will be submerged for 30 minutes, following the manufacturer's instructions on the Mundo Rapid Instrument and Tool Disinfectant. So once those tools have been submerged for the correct time, I'm going to take some tissue. So you could take a soft paper towel and a towel. We're going to remove these and we're going to place them on here to allow them to dry. We're going to discard of that liquid, and we're going to follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to dispose of the solutions. So we can leave them like this, or what we can do is we can get another towel and we can fully dry these off. Once these have been disinfected and they are fully dry, you can pop them back to safely store them in your box. It's important to make sure they have been thoroughly dry before you do this, because trapping any damp in this box will cause damage and rusting to your tools. All of these products must be bought from reputable manufacturers and not third-party retailers, as there's no way of being sure of its effectiveness. So we recommend the MBO autoclave. It's a hospital approved grade autoclave, and what it will do, it sterilises your tools in just 7, 15 or 30 minutes. So it's a really good for a turnover of your tools to make sure that they are sterilised, ready for your next customer. Whilst in the UK, it is not legislation that you have to sterilise. We do recommend it because, as already mentioned, it is the only form of cleaning that will guarantee that all bacteria, virus, fungal and spore forms are eliminated and killed. With time and use, you will find your cuticle pusher is not as effective as it once was. What will happen with repeated use, just like scissors, the sharp edge will wear down, and it will mean that both sides will be subject to requiring sharpening services to bring your cuticle tool back to its optimum. If you look here as well, you can see that if you do drop your cuticle pusher, it will cause damage. You can see here where it's bent the metal because this has been knocked off the table. This can be sometimes repaired by a professional, so it is worth getting in touch with a professional if you ever drop your nail tools to see if they can repair your tools for you. Otherwise, it will be time to replace them. If you use a tool like this on the nail plate, what will happen is you will actually potentially cause damage to the customer. You could cut them, scratch them, or cause discomfort, and you won't get the results that you wish to achieve.